Since the release of Burning Times in 2009, the Sawyer family has played over 700 shows in nearly every state in 14 different countries. In that time, they have transformed themselves from a band known primarily for horror-based 50s-esque rock and roll to something that is without definition.
We don't really know what happened either. When we started touring nationally and internationally, the songwriting shifted and kind of took on a life of its own and turned into whatever we're doing now, which we just call rock music, for lack of a better term.
Songs marked with huge dynamic shifts, classical passages, and unusual use of the upright bass have landed the band on bills from folk and country acts to jazz and heavy metal. Their most recent U.S. tour took them to Raleigh, North Carolina, where the venue they played just so happened to be connected to the studio where crossover icons Corrosion of Conformity were recording their new album. This put them in direct contact with Grammy-nominated record producer John Custer.
Well, we had outgrown ourselves so drastically that it became clear that we wanted to work with a phenomenal producer. The material that we were writing was so drastically different than anything we'd done in the past. So we started reaching out to a lot of the people that had made my favorite albums, people like Chris Goss, and Dave Catching, and Jack Endino, and John Custer. But fate kind of decided for us when John landed right in our laps. Well, sonically, obviously, everything he's ever done is absolutely amazing. He's a Grammy-nominated producer, but he's also really well known for helping bands reinvent and redefine themselves. He's done that for every band he's ever worked with. They've reinvented themselves and reached a bigger audience, their true audience, and that is exactly where we are right now. We're a completely different band than we were the last time we released an album, and John just seems like an absolutely perfect fit for us. Producers like a fifth member. They're bringing something to the table that you can't provide yourself. Also, John's work with Corrosion of Conformity redefined it, changed the way that I thought about music in my life, and still to this day are some of my favorite music ever made. So the fact that he's impressed enough with our songwriting to want to work with us, it's an honor, and it's an opportunity of a lifetime. Since we last released an album and we started touring all over the world, we've all left our jobs, we've downsized our lives to virtually nothing and put everything into this in the hopes of an opportunity like this presenting itself, and now it has. So, I mean, we'd be fools to not go for it.